Well, happy Friday and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson is away tonight. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you as you head into your weekend. A new political mailer dressed up like a newspaper is taking aim at the Wenatchee School District just as it campaigns for its education and operations levy. And after a distinguished career as a state legislator, Brad Hawkins finds himself a freshman again as he joins the Chelan County Board of Commissioners. Weather-wise, it was practically a heat wave today in the Wenatchee Valley compared to temperatures over the past week. Despite the snowfall on the mountains and passes, the outlook remains a bit unsettled into the weekend. Dan Kuntz stayed up past his bedtime to bring you the full forecast later in this half hour. But first, our top story tonight. Wenatchee Valley firefighters responded this afternoon to a home on fire in the 400 block of Kittitas Street in Wenatchee. Fire Chief Brian Brett says just after noon, a fire crept into the insulated space between one old roof and the newer roof line that had been installed on top of it. 2 adult residents in the single-story house were displaced, and others were found residing in a parked vehicle and an outbuilding on the property. Brett says some of the victims attempted to put the fire out with pots of water. No one was injured. The cause and point of origin on that fire are still being investigated. A second edition of the political mailer called the Wenatchee Record was sent to homes on Thursday, zeroing in again on the Wenatchee School District. The mailer was sent ahead of the district's February 11th levy election, writing against support for the levy and also taking issue with the district's policies on diversity, equity, and inclusion. District Communications Director Diana Hagland said the district remains focused on its students, quote, despite the misinformation, and said the district remained confident the community will support the levy. The mailer also claimed that NCW Library's locations removed American flags and replaced them with pride flags, which the library denied in a statement to NCWLIFE. The first edition of the Wenatchee Record was printed in 2023 by former State Representative Glenn Dobbs, who also is listed as an editor of the latest edition. A key energy reform bill sponsored by State Representative Alex Ibarra of Quincy is now moving through the legislature. The 13th District Republican put forward a bill making it easier for public electric utilities to develop renewable energy facilities as well as energy storage in partnership with corporations. Under current law, consumer-owned utilities like PUDs can only develop new generation and storage with other similar utilities. More and more power agencies are looking for ways to bank the power they create as energy demand increases. Ibarra says his bill will help ensure growing communities like Grant County aren't subject to power grid failures. House Bill 1253 was passed out of the Energy Committee this week. Mayor Erin McCardle spent Thursday evening delivering her State of the City presentation to residents of Chelan. It's the first time residents there have gotten such a presentation from a Chelan mayor, and it took place at the Lake Chelan Community Center. McCardle says she's trying to engage the community to share city projects and gather input for future goals. Chelan now has introduced a new texting protocol to help citizens keep up on news from the city and to receive emergency alerts. If you're a Chelan resident, text the word Chelan to 38276 to sign up for the service. Well, the Grant County PUD's fiber service has now reached an estimated 75% of its potential subscribers, according to a report last week to its Board of Commissioners. An estimated 31,000 households or commercial customers were getting their internet through fiber piped to them from the PUD's network as of 2024, out of a potential pool of 42,000 customers. That's almost 15,000 new subscribers in the last 6 years. Senior Telecom Manager Terry McKenzie says the fiber system expects to take in about $15.9 million in 2025. After maintenance and operations costs, that's a projected $6.2 million returned to the PUD's capital fund. When we come back, Brad Hawkins has moved from one elected post to another. The former state lawmaker talks about his experience as a relative newcomer on the Chelan County Board of Commissioners. I'm Jefferson Robbins. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Who's trying to stretch their budget this January? That's pretty much all of us. That's why Abby's is offering this giant pizza that can feed up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 hungry people for less than $27. Now, that's an Abby's budget stretching deal. Worried about a no-fun January? Not at Abby's. Dine on our Bacon Cheddar Special. It's delicious and loaded with toppings and real cheese. Plus, it's on sale, and the kids can play some video games. Enjoy fun January at your local Abby's.
Central Washington Water is your solution for problem water. Whether you're on a well or municipal water, they can design a clean water system custom to you. Soft water eliminates water spots and scaling on fixtures. It protects appliances from hard water damage, saving you money. Soft water reduces soap usage that causes skin irritation and is a healthier choice to drink. Call for a free in-home consultation or stop by the store to have your water tested. Central Washington Water, your best water solution for home, pool, and spa.
Between juggling groceries, preparing meals, and lending a helping hand, you're a hero without a cape. But who's there to support you? Aging and Adult Care honors caregivers like you, the relatives, friends, and neighbors, helping loved ones remain safely at home. Aging and Adult Care offers chore services, respite, personal care, and more. Serving Chelan, Douglas, Grant, Lincoln, Adams, and Okanagan counties, call Aging and Adult Care at 1-800-572-4459 for caregiver support.
Her Royal Highness, Queen Ella Stimo!
Join NCWLIFE channel for live coverage of the Apple Blossom Festival Royalty Selection Pageant on Saturday, February 8th. Coverage is brought to you in part by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Harvest Valley Pest Control, Merry Maids, Together for Youth, and the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Join us for live coverage of the Apple Blossom Festival Royalty Selection Pageant on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel.
And welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Brad Hawkins is settling into his new role as a Chelan County Commissioner. After a dozen years as a state representative and then senator, Hawkins was elected in November to represent Chelan County District 3. He tells the Chelan County Connection podcast there's a learning curve to taking on a new elected position.
I'm really enjoying myself. I'm learning a lot, and there's definitely lots to learn, a lot of people to get to know. I'm working hard to study the county budget, mostly focus on the county specific things, but get to know some of the additional stakeholder groups that I may not have been working with quite as closely as state senator. But I've been enjoying the meetings, getting my office all set up and having constituents visit and different things like that. So I'm really enjoying it. And not to mention, I'm not traveling back and forth over the mountain passes every week to Olympia. For me, it's a real honor to serve in this position too, because several years ago, my father served as a District 3 commissioner. So to have the chance to literally move things into his old office was pretty special. So I'm enjoying it.
The Icicle Creek Center for the Arts has a new executive director. Monica Miller, director of Gallery 1 in Ellensburg, is soon to take over leadership of the arts and performance nonprofit in Leavenworth. Miller replaces Phil Lacey, who left the organization to become director of the philanthropic Icicle Fund, which oversees arts and environmental grant projects. Miller is a Seattle native who's previously worked managing grants and development for Washington's Artist Trust. Our media partner, the Wenatchee World, says the new ICCA director will officially come on board February 19th. Now, Washington Senator Patty Murray was among the Democrats who boycotted a committee vote Thursday to advance President Trump's budget nominee to the cabinet. Russ Vought is an architect of the conservative Project 2025 strategy, which the new president has begun to enact. His nomination advanced out of committee by the Republican majority after the 10 Democratic members refused to vote. Murray and others said their move to block Vought stemmed in part from the Trump administration's efforts to freeze grant funding earlier this week.
For years, he's been the #1 cheerleader of the idea that Trump should just ignore Congress, ignore our laws, and unilaterally block funding that the American people count on. He took this idea for a spin last time he was Trump's OMB director, helping Trump illegally hold up security assistance. He's written a lot about it in the years since. And when he came before all of us last week, he refused time after time to simply commit to following the law and getting fund out to the communities that all of us represent.
Now, coming up next, NCWLIFE joined the yearly point-in-time count of the region's homeless residents yesterday. You'll hear what some of those living without a permanent home have to say about their situations. And Dan Kuntz delivers the weekend weather report as only he can. Despite that, please stay with us.
Stay warm this holiday season with the latest high-quality fashions from Vuori, Patagonia, and North Face. Lake Chelan Sports has a huge selection with boots and gloves to match. Find it in downtown Chelan.
Walking on Wooden is Chelan's newest casual boutique. Update your wardrobe with the latest casual fashions from Johnson & Murphy, Free People, and UGG. Look for WOW on Wooden Avenue in downtown Chelan.
When you've been in business for 40 years, it's because you understand change and you put members first, always. Now Works is announcing a change in their membership model. Up to 6 people on one membership that you can mix and match. The more people, the bigger the discounts. Introducing the Works shared membership model. One membership, friends and family and flexibility. Works, the cleanest, friendliest, most helpful gyms you and your friends will ever join.
Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, located on South Wenatchee Ave, has the largest selection of spas and swim spas in town. Stay cool this summer in an artesian swim spa and use it all year long. We enjoy helping families reconnect one spa at a time. Hot tubs are proven to improve sleep and decrease arthritis pain. Our passion is water, so please bring us a water sample, and we will help you diagnose your pool or spa water for free. Blue Lagoon Pool and Spa, your pool and spa experts.
There's no place like home, because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories, and we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier, total comfort, totally happy.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Alpine Air. Heat and air, call Alpine Air.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. The annual Homeless Point-in-Time Count took place yesterday, with Chelan County outreach teams working from a base at Lighthouse Christian Ministries. The yearly survey is required by the Department of Housing and Urban Development to collect information and identify needs for the homeless community. NCWLIFE tagged along with one of the survey teams to speak with people directly about what it's like being homeless in the Wenatchee Valley.
So today we're conducting surveys, basically getting a count to see how many homeless people there are in our area. Name and basic information, people in the household, what led to their homelessness, and are they sheltered, unsheltered. I don't see as many people out this year. This is my first time doing the field work. I'm normally inside the lighthouse, but I'd like to think that a lot of people are maybe utilizing some of our shelters, so I believe it will be lower this year.
Wow. I've been homeless for 7 years, in loss of work and trouble with my family and stuff like that. So
Have you been homeless with your daughter that whole time?
Yeah.
And in your opinion, what do you think is the leading cause of homelessness here in Wenatchee?
I don't know. People losing their jobs or mental health or physical health and stuff like that.
Is there anything that you think that people could do to better understand your situation or help in some sort of way?
Well, lately I've been seeing a lot of people that really act like they don't care about the homeless, and maybe if they would maybe start caring about us more. I don't know.
I am 43 years old. I am a mother of 4 children. Currently I am pregnant with my 5th child. Her name's Lucille. I have been homeless since my divorce from my ex-husband in 2020. I went out to travel and see if I could actually make something of myself, help people.
That's what led you to Wenatchee.
It led me to Wenatchee. I had several people along the way who kind of helped get me here. Unfortunately, I was down in Moses Lake. I went through a domestic violence situation, came up here. Housing has been a little bit hard. Even coming up from where the housing was more limited down in Moses, coming up here, bigger city, more resources. A lot of the resources that are up here, I wish they had access to down there because they're out in the cold all the time. And we're blessed to be inside a building. This church right here, Lighthouse Christian Ministries, is like our sanctuary for the homeless because it gives us somewhere to be all day long till we have to go back to the shelters because we don't have anywhere to put our stuff or anything. They let people sleep in the back, down there, relax. People have disabilities, ailments, everything. And a typical day for me is to see all these things. I see the people who have mental health, but I can see them in there. Why everybody's paying attention to their body movements and everything. They don't see the person. And I'm just looking at them and be like, I see you. I can't tell you how many times somebody has cried in front of me because I tell them, I'm not seeing the shaking. I see that, but I see you inside. So a typical day is helping one another.
Happy Friday, everybody, and we're almost into February, and let me tell you something. Next week's going to feel like February. We start out with our Lake Wenatchee camera. It's down there somewhere, and I think right there, Sasquatch. Just a rumor I heard, anyway. All right, let's get right to it. As far as the snow, a lot of it in the mountain passes. Look at Stevens Pass. They're going to get snowfall of about 1 inch an hour. It's been going on since the wee small hours of this Friday morning. It continues to snow heavily on Stevens Pass, and it will all the way till about noon on Sunday, noon on Saturday anyway. That's a lot of snow, even for Stevens Pass. They're a little concerned about avalanches, though, because they haven't had any snow at all for a number of weeks on the upper mountain passes and in the upper elevations. When you get a lot of snow on top of snow that's just been sitting there, avalanche concerns for you backcountry folks. Take it easy if you're heading in the backcountry. Almanac today, 36, our afternoon high, which is just about normal for this time of the year. It was a very mild overnight low of 26 degrees. We haven't had that for a while. The cloud cover, of course, kept the blanket on. Everything else pretty much back to normal. I remember that -9 back in 1996, even though I was only 12 years old. And I'm liking these longer days. Sunrise before 7:30, sunset after 5 o'clock. But you're not going to really know it, as you see with the weather forecast. Highs tomorrow, just about 40 in Moses Lake, right around 40 degrees or so in Ephrata and Quincy as well. They're going to see a little more sunshine than we are tomorrow. We're going to have some sun breaks, but quite a bit of sunshine out of the Columbia Basin, thus the warmer temperatures. 37 here in the big city, slightly cooler in Cashmere. Leavenworth and Lake Wenatchee with the additional snowfall will have a little bit cooler temperatures. They're used to that by now. Omak also is going to have a little bit more snow than Wenatchee. That's going to keep their high temperature down tomorrow, a couple of degrees compared to the Wenatchee Valley. Low pressure here, low pressure there. That's going to become one low pressure system. It's going to sit right off the coast of British Columbia, right off Vancouver Island, and it's going to sit there and spin counterclockwise because that's what low pressure systems do. It's going to take all that cold air and somewhat moist air in the upper British Columbia province and feed it right down to us. And that is why we have a continuing chance of light snow basically through Sunday, but we're also going to see some sun breaks mixed in as well. The one thing we are going to see is a little bit of wind tomorrow morning, this afternoon a little bit as the system goes through and passes through. We always see a little wind when that happens. Look for a little bit of wind, by the way, on Saturday. We get into Monday, and this is when we start talking about a continuing chance of hit and miss snow, about a 20 to 30% chance of snow starting Monday and all of next week. The big story next week, very cold temperatures and not a lot of sunshine. We had all that sunshine and cool temperatures for that 3-week period, something like that, 2.5 weeks. We're going to flip the script a little bit. We're going to have below normal temperatures, but not a lot of sunshine, it looks like. Look at the overnight low Wednesday, 9 degrees, back into the single digits. Haven't had a single-digit overnight low in quite some time. And basically all of next week, it's going to look really February-ish. It's going to be cloudy, it's going to be cold, not going to see a lot of sunshine, and a hit-and-miss snow shower here and there. So, in detail, 36 unofficially at Pangbourne later on this afternoon, 26 for the overnight low tonight. A little bit of sunshine on Saturday, slight chance of snow. Whatever we get ain't going to stick around very much, as you can see, with a high of 37, which is just about normal. 20 for the overnight low on Saturday. We cool down to just about freezing on Sunday. Sun breaks and a little bit of light snow in the morning, and then unfortunately cloudy and gray with continuous back and forth snow. No significant accumulations at all, but we're not going to see a great deal of sunshine, I'm afraid, next week. Of course, we welcome February at midnight tonight. All right, that's your forecast. Still to come, sports. Yeah, the toy department of the news department. Eric will be up next with what's going on in the ever-widening world of sports. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
Her Royal Highness, Queen Ella Stimo!
Join NCWLIFE channel for live coverage of the Apple Blossom Festival Royalty Selection Pageant on Saturday, February 8th. Coverage is brought to you in part by our Platinum supporter, Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. Also by Harvest Valley Pest Control, Merry Maids, Together for Youth, and the Wenatchee Valley Dispute Resolution Center. Join us for live coverage of the Apple Blossom Festival Royalty Selection Pageant on your local TV station, the NCWLIFE channel. Happy Finally Friday. Seattle Kraken showed well on national television last night with a big 6-2 win over San Jose. Brandon Montour scored a couple of goals while Joey Decord stopped 26 of 28 shots on goal in the victory. ESPN was at Climate Pledge Arena on a good night in Seattle.
Backhand out of the zone. Bjorkstrand. Stretch pass. Driving the net. Shot. Score! Chandler Stevenson. Cup last year with Florida. The Sharks find the net. Off a lucky bounce, and San Jose pulls even. Would you be an iPad guy on the bench if they had it? Score! A rebound in front. Bjorkstrand gives Seattle a 2-1 lead. Shane Wright off the bench. Here comes Montour. As that one healed by Wallman, and the pass that was too far in. Now out of the box with a head of steam. Short driving in, short-handed. Score! 50 seconds left in the 5-on-3. Cross eyes. One-timer score! Pick in the corner. Second goal for Montour. Cross ice to Foley. Down low. Score. San Jose on the board and Tyler Toffoli. Josh Mahura has it. And now Tolvanen cuts to the center. Tolvanen scores! And the finishing touches on a 6-2 win on home ice.
Seattle hosts Calgary Sunday at 6 o'clock. That's on King 5 and Kong TV. Eastern and Washington State came up a little bit short in men's college basketball last night. Eagles fell to Idaho State 78-70. Cougars came up 2 points short of Pacific 70-68. Busy schedule tomorrow starts in the morning for Washington and Minnesota. That's at 9 a.m. on the Big Ten Network. Eastern visits Weber State at noon. Washington State plays at San Francisco at 7 o'clock. Gonzaga visits St. Mary's. That's at 8 o'clock on ESPN. Eastern women used a big fourth quarter to come back and force overtime and beat Idaho State 78-71. Washington State beat Pacific's 82-70. Gonzaga shot down San Diego 64-48. WSU hosts San Diego tomorrow at noon. Pacific visits Gonzaga at 2, while Eastern Washington hosts Weber State. Haley Van List, TCU Horned Frogs visits Iowa State at Sunday at 1 o'clock. That's on FS1. Washington plays at 8th-rated Ohio State Sunday at 2 on the Big Ten Network. The Eastmont boys and girls beat Wenatchee in Big 9 wrestling last night. The Eastmont girls benefited from 5 Wenatchee forfeits, defeating the Panthers 42-28, despite only winning 2 head-to-head matches. I had the call here on the NCWLIFE channel.
So she goes up by a score of 3-0, and quickly looking for a pin here, and she gets it. How about that? And she will, and she's looking for the pin, and she's got exposure points at least. And a pin. Our official, Brandon White, looking for shoulders on the mat. And now turning around and facing the other way. And Hoffman will get the pin. Now looking for more, maybe even more teams points. with 9 seconds with 8. Can Vibbert hang on? And she got the pin with 3 seconds left in the match. And a reverse one way, then a reverse the other way with 48 seconds to go. And now looking for the pin is Cuevas on Perez. Perez got the reversal, got 2 points for it. She trails at 6-3, but now adding more and a pin. Eastmont boys earned 6 wins, 4 by pin, and a 52-20 win over Wenatchee. Panthers got 1 win by pin, which was a very quick one by D'Angelo Negretti. So again, Blaze Sapp for Eastmont. D'Angelo Negretti for the Wenatchee Panthers. Negretti on the season for Wenatchee, an incredible 26-3, and he'll quickly get the 3-point takedown. Looking for a pin in the first seconds of this match, and he does in 17 ticks on the clock. Win by pin. Does Despain, or else he's going to find himself in trouble, and he's found himself in trouble. And now reaching back is Salazar Flores. Give him the 2-point reversal and the pin. Hawkins has the arm barred, looking to get any more points here. Can he? He will turn him. Will he get points? And he will. With time running out, he will get a 3-point near fall. Mercado looking for the far side cradle. He's got it. Tipped his knee into his back, and now getting some near fall points. Looking for the pin. A lot of time left, and he will run out of time. Now Dixon with the far side cradle. Very strong wrestler on the bottom here in Gutzweiler as we're a minute in. Now near fall points. Looking for the pin is Dax Dixon, and he's going to get it. Overtime, 190 pounds. Lamb on top here. Benner trying to keep him from getting around his waist. Lamb trying to break him down and spin, and now looking for the turn, looking for the cover. He gets it. Ricardo Kalunga Jr. Chest to chest, pin. Other boys' scores from last night found Richland edging Moses Lake 38-25. Prosser beat Quincy 56-16. Ephrata eased by East Valley 55-15, and Cashmere down Royal 44-31. Huge wrestling event for the girls tomorrow in Quincy. 39 teams in town for the Cattlemen's Association Bring Home the Beef tournament. Gets underway tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastmont, Omak, Quincy boys gathering in Tonasket tomorrow morning at 10:30. 3 scores turned in for boys basketball games from last night. East Valley beat Quincy. Omak edged Brewster in a high-scoring affair, 94-86. And Moses Lake Christian got by Waitsburg, 77-41. On the girls' side last night, East Valley down Quincy. Brewster beat Omak. Wilson Creek topped Cascade Christian, and Moses Lake Christian down Waitsburg. The girls' schedule tonight has Wenatchee at Sultan. Eastmont visits Davis. Moses Lake hosts West Valley. Ephrata takes on Ellensburg. Cashmere's at Royal. Chelan hosts Bridgeport. Manson travels to Okanagan. Lake Roosevelt plays at Liberty Bell. Cascade hosts Tonasket. Antioch at Soap Lake. Waterville Mansfield plays at 7:30 at Pateros. Pateros and Waterville Mansfield boys play before the girls tonight at 6. Wenatchee visits Sultan at 6:45. Eastmont plays at Davis at 7, while Moses Lake hosts West Valley. Ellensburg visits Ephrata. Royal welcomes Cashmere at 7:15, while Bridgeport's at Chelan. Tonasket travels to Cascade at 7:30. Manson's at Okanagan. Liberty Bell hosts Lake Roosevelt. Antioch at Soap Lake also at 7:30. We go from a crowded schedule tonight to not so much tomorrow. The Cashmere girls play at Wapello at 3:45. Wenatchee hosts Sunnyside at 4:30. Chelan's at Waterville Mansfield at 5:30. On the boys' side, Waterville Mansfield boys host Moses Lake Christian at 4. Wapello hosts Cashmere at 5:15. Sunnyside's at Wenatchee at 6. Moses Lake travels to Eisenhower also at 6 o'clock. Wenatchee Wild play the first of 2 weekend games tonight in Saskatoon. Blades and Wild drop the puck at 6 o'clock tonight. Wenatchee heads for Prince Albert tomorrow at 6. Moose Jaw will host the Wild on Tuesday. That's also at 6 o'clock. You can hear all the action with our buddy Austin Andrade on 560 KPQ. That's a look at sports news. I'm Eric Granstrom. Have a great weekend.
And that will do it for our final newscast of the week. For more news from around North Central Washington, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app for iPhone and Android. And remember, if you see news happening, we would like to hear from you. Email us at news@ncwlife.com or call 888-6295. That's 888-NCWL. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Grant Olson will be back with you Monday night. Thanks so much for being with us. Have a great weekend.